I got beat again. Or did I beat myself? Some more tournament talk about what happened to me yesterday at Lake of the Ozarks, and a little reflection, and try to come out of this with something positive. I'll be right back.
Oh, fish chasing all the way up to right there.
Pretty nice day. It finally got chilly in the 40s here in central Missouri. Fall has finally made it. Next thing you know, it'll be winter. That's what you got to be thinking about. Fishing one of those little derbies yesterday at Lake of the Ozarks, just an old farts tournament. I don't know how many guys was there. It was a nice little turnout. I got whooped. A bunch of us got whooped. Fishing is still mostly lousy. But I want to talk about it. Folks kind of like the videos. I won't be like Randy Blockett. I'm not as cool as Randy. But sitting in the boat here, I'm going to piddle with some tackle for a little while. Kind of get ready for next time. I got one more tournament next Tuesday. And that's it for the tournament so I can fish. I can't fish weekends. I have to work. There wasn't a lot of fish caught yesterday. First place was 13 and a half. Had a 5.5 pound big bass. Nice string. Great folks. Good fisherman. I'll talk about that real quick. He caught them live scoping on an A-rig. Well, except the big bass. The big bass coming a foot of water on a buzz bait. Old school. I couldn't make that work. Actually, I only saw one keeper maybe yesterday and it slapped at a buzz bait. I'll talk about that in a minute too. So the guy won it watching his fish on live scope. He had 4 keepers doing that and then caught that big one right there at the end. It's a pretty day, a cloudy day mostly. Wind blew pretty hard for his front come on through. Pretty good day to fish, and I just struggled. Now, about the live scope first. I can't fault the guy. He's good at it. He's been fishing a long time. I fished against him 30 years ago. He's a good fisherman. He has adapted where I haven't. He's changed. I haven't changed. I'm not going to change that way. But he caught those 4 on an A-rig with the grubs. And I've only thrown an A-rig one time ever in my life for about an hour. Back when I first come back to bass fishing, my other bass boat. I've seen them throwed. Whew. There's tournaments around here, like BASS, A-rigs are illegal. I don't know if that's right or not. I own some. I don't know. I got to think about the A-rig thing, y'all. Especially when you combine that with watching the fish on it, and the jerkbait, same thing. They watch the reactions of the fish. They're hard to beat that way. And I accepted that before I started tournament fishing again. I know what's going to happen. I'm not going to fault the live scope this time, though, because I didn't catch a keeper. I didn't weigh a fish. He didn't beat me. I beat myself. Last week I had big bass and one little keeper. I had opportunities of several 2 and 3 pound bass. But those fish this week, where I was at, pretty contained, fairly shallow. Water temperature dropped 6 or 7 degrees in a week's time, and I think those fish, they'll still be, some of those fish will winter in that little area, but they just wouldn't work. I got a little something late yesterday on a grub, but it was small fish, but it's almost collie shots. We'll see. I beat myself. I did not get beat by the technology or the A-rig. And you got to not beat yourself first before you worry about how you're getting beat by other guys. That makes sense? My mistake yesterday. Well, I still got a knee problem. If you haven't watched the last few videos, I'm complaining I got the gout. But the gout is gone, y'all, mostly. What happened was I had gout for a week or so, and then last week in the tournament, I went to get out of the boat at the end of the day. And instead of sliding a little further forward in the boat to step out, I don't have one of those fancy ladders, although that's a possibility. Instead of stepping out the way I should have, I stepped out early, so I folded my left knee way underneath me like I did when I was 25 years old, and I crunched it. Guys, I suffered yesterday from pain. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't think. Every time I stood up on that front deck and got back down, got down to change, I was making stupid mistakes with tackle. I still fish pretty good, but when your brain isn't operating right, when you're not be able to focus, I need to get over that. If the fish would have bit, sure would have made it easier. I caught several fish. I caught fish doing everything I thought they would do, Except the top water thing with the post-cold front and the water temperature in the low 50s, it's just kind of tough. Anyway, that's the number one thing is you got to keep your mind in the game. I don't care whether you're fishing competition or fishing for fun. If you're not in it in your head, you're not in it at all. I should have expanded. It's only a 6-hour derby. And it's supposed to be 5 hours. I spent the first 3 really working on the stuff where I'd caught them last week, and I figured out pretty quicker than that they weren't going to work. But it's several hundreds of acres of water to look at. I expanded a 1/4 mile. I caught some fish. Wind blowing hard, got right in the wind, and then it was out of time. So my original plan was to make a run to another creek down the lake 4, 5, 6 miles and kind of start over, and I didn't do that. No practice time for this tournament. I'd like to have some practice time for next Tuesday. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We are back into a fall pattern of weather. We're not going to have much of 60, 70-degree days. We're going to have a lot of 40-degree days, freezing nights. The power fishing as far as top water type stuff is probably over. I'm going to leave a buzzbait rigged up. I'll leave a spook rod in the boat, but probably done. Now, I've caught buzzbait fish in Missouri in December, early December, but probably done, but don't count it out completely. Be taking some rods out of the boat today, though. It's kind of the plan. Not ready for the grub finesse winter stuff yet. Basically, it'd be the same thing I was throwing yesterday. I threw a lot of jerk baits, caught a lot of fish on jerk baits, but it'll be more getting into the slower jerk bait fishing instead of popping it, ripping it like I have been. I absolutely had every intention to film this yesterday. Got there plenty early, got the boat unloaded. Of course, trying to take care of my leg, crawling out of the boat, and put the boat in the water, paid my entry fee, got back in the boat, started pulling tackle out, and never pulled that camera out of that box. It's still right there in that box. I realized it about the time I got to my first spot. I thought about that long. I don't believe in bad luck or even hardly good luck. I believe you can get lucky once in a while. It's nice when it comes your way. But I definitely don't believe in black cats and bananas in the boat. But that camera sucks. When I start thinking about having a camera turned on, turned off, and all the things you got to do, it gets in the way of my fishing. Someday when I'm really on them, I'll film it. Getting to be like Randy Blockett. Just film me talking. Some folks dig it. Talking about the old boat. The old boat runs good. Everything's great. Everything. If I do have a little troll motor issue, it slipped down on the shaft, which is not a big deal. I could not muscle it back up with my leg. I couldn't. I need to get it back where it belongs. I keep my troll motor fairly shallow. Now, this time of year, obviously, it's going to go away. But when I've been up there fishing 15 inches of water, I mean, I got that troll motor up on the shaft, and it slipped on me yesterday. And they also turned on the shaft, so my pedal wasn't right. Simple stuff. Don't know how it got so loose. Those are things you got to walk through your boat every time you go fishing. Before you go out, you got to check things like that. I hadn't done it. It's all the way down. It's 42 inches buried in the water, so I'll fix that. I also need to, my switch is not being very touchy. You got to really see if there's a way to adjust that switch. It's not a micro switch anymore. I forgot what they call some fancy name. Things like that you got to remember. And I forgot that switch has been that way for a while. I need to fix that. I'm having to lean over on that left side to make it work. I don't want that. How's that for rambling? I got my butt whooped, but I whooped my own butt. That's just a fact. That's all there is to it. And I know that, and by knowing that, I know how I'm going to change a little bit. It's going to be one more tournament. That's all I get to fish. I'm not going to be able to fish weekend tournaments, I don't think. There's all kinds of tournaments like the Ozarks here in the wintertime. But I may do some fun fishing, may do some video shooting, especially when I get on some fish better. I may do some crappie fishing. I couldn't even hardly catch whites yesterday. The white bass, I caught a few and had a few chase my baits, but they had changed too. And this is usually the best time of year for white bass here in Missouri. It probably still will be good windy days. That'd be fun to do a video on that maybe. But I can fish for fun, but I like this tournament stuff. I don't like getting my butt whooped, especially when I do it to myself. I think that's all I got. I got to put line one reel. I had a little issue yesterday. I realized I probably should change the line on it. Gonna go through, gonna weed some stuff out. I don't need 2 spinnerbait rods now. I've got just one flipping stick in the boat. It needs to come out. I do not have ever in my life I ever flipped December, January in Missouri that I can remember. No need for it. Of course, take it out, that's the day I want it. No, I don't need a 50-pound braid on it. No. I'll leave it in the boat anyway. It ain't taking up no room. Go through some tackle, weed some stuff out. A few different baits in the boat. Take a bunch of stuff out. The power fishing, shallow. Not, I catch fish shallow in the middle of winter. But the power fishing, the big spinner baits, the buzz baits, the Zero Spooks, probably pretty much done for the year. I'll leave a little bit in the boat just in case. But it's going to be pretty chilly between now. The water temperature is going to keep on dropping like it's supposed to. I'm going to work out here for about an hour, hour and a half. Beautiful day. And I think I'm going to go squirrel hunting. I haven't been squirrel hunting in forever. So there you go. Guys, appreciate the comments about your old boats. I'm really tickled what y'all are talking about. I don't need a fan club or supporters, but I appreciate y'all that do. There's a lot of us out there who can't afford the big stuff and don't really have a need for it. I got beat by the big stuff yesterday, but it wasn't. Mark's not the one that beat me. I beat myself. God bless you guys. We'll talk at you soon.